Hi there, I'm Peter Sesselmann.
I'm James Carter.
James Carter, and today we are looking at James's new/old.
Yeah, the Framus 568. I don't know if that's what you're calling it. 5/68.
So you bought this broken?
Yes, it comes in two pieces.
Comes in two pieces of two for the price of one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
And I've repurposed the strings on my little half-size acoustic as well.
Fantastic. Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Yeah, okay, sure. But,
Oh
there she
wow!
is. It's beautiful.
Look at
And
that.
it doesn't stand up, but anyway.
No, that's.
And,
So let's have
So, yeah.
take it out. Yeah, have a look.
so there you go.
Yeah.
As I say, it comes in two pieces.
Okay, well that's
So handy storage.
Handy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We could
good.
just use that as a frisbee.
Cake tin.
So also in here, we have.
Let's
Just
see.
here.
What other goodies do we have here?
Open that little drawer there.
Oh yes, we have the saddle or the
We have
bridge.
The saddle there. But also in there somewhere we have the original tailpiece.
Ah, I wonder why that changed
Yeah.
it.
Because it's broken. It snapped off at the.
I
yeah.
see.
So there you go. So it says cutaway. Cut away.
Cutaway, so that must be the.
It's a cutaway.
cutaway.
Yeah.
What year is it?
Yeah. Well, what was it again? 64? Is it a
Okay.
64?
Same age as me then.
I can't remember. I think it was. Yeah. But I got
I
it
seem to remember it being in the bed next to me. I don't know.
It's your twin.
It's my
Your twin. Yeah. Comes with a pickup and it's got the old. Sort of,
mini jack.
Yeah. So the TS there and the mini TS. I guess it's what it is.
Yeah.
But, it plugs into here. Yeah.
Ah, plug straight in there. Right.
Yep.
So it's not wide in.
Yep.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Ah, and the timber. Look at the grain in that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's in beautiful. The back is in beautiful condition.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, you really want to sit with your back to the audience with this thing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even down here. I mean, this is good. Just the front's a little bit worn.
Yeah.
I'd suggest that it's possibly been left in the car. That's why the neck is actually warped. But
Built in the heart of Bavaria.
intense heat.
Well, yeah, maybe. Is the neck warped?
Yeah, it is. It's very much so. So if you, it actually.
It kicks up a bit at the end.
Yeah. So I mean, really, if you sanded it down to sort of there, then it'd be straight. Not that I'm suggesting you do that, but
No, that's right. Yeah. Look, that's not uncommon for this to have a little kick up,
Yeah.
up or down at the end because
Yeah.
that piece is different from the rest.
Yeah. Okay.
You can see there's a join there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the top part of the neck there is
right.
put on, or is glued on.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a few where they have that same. Mine as well. Mine actually kicks down, so
Right. Okay.
it's not a big. And mine is in the cutaway, so I kind of go like,
So what is the
can't
kick
get
up?
to those frets
But
anyway.
the kick up's obviously going to cause some sort of.
That's going to cause a bit of buzzing,
Yeah.
yeah. So kicking back is better. I have to think about what we can do about that. We might be able to just force it a little bit. So anyway, what we need to do first, I suppose, is we need to clean up all this old glue.
Yeah.
It looks to me like somebody's attempted to repair it before.
It's obviously taken off the veneer as well.
Yes.
If you sand both sides, you're going to leave a gap, aren't you?
Yeah, but you won't see that underneath it. No, I think normally when they would have glued this, they probably would have taken the varnish off because the glue wouldn't stick very well to the varnish. So
That's
it's like when they
probably
put the saddles on, they
Probably what
remove.
they've done the second time round, they've actually stuck it straight on the varnish.
Yes,
Is
maybe.
that right?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. It's certainly how it came though. It did
Yeah.
not say it in the ad. It didn't say it comes in two pieces.
no.
It did say it did need some work.
It said it needed a neck reset or something, didn't it?
Something like that, yeah. Professionals.
And it's got the abalone inlays here. This is a really nice instrument.
It's a beautiful guitar.
That's an absolute beauty. Absolute stunner. And I suppose. Oh, actually. Oh yeah, now there's something there. Yeah, so it's parallel braced, but only from here down.
Okay.
Sometimes they're braced right from the top right through.
Yep.
But I suppose it's fairly thick. It's fairly thick timber in this. Like mine is
Okay.
is pressed out of solid spruce as well.
Yeah.
But it's quite thin, so it has bracing all the way through.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty.
Yeah. Some original parts, some not.
The Schuller heads aren't original, yeah.
That's right.
But Schuller's a really good brand.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. They've obviously they haven't fixed up
They
the
didn't
old
fix up
holes
the
or anything.
holes, no. Well, machine heads in 1960s were not as good as those today.
No.
Yeah. So that's good. Then this little screws there, that's for adjusting the tension, how much friction there is to turn them.
Yeah.
So it's had a break here.
Yeah, that looks like the original sort of positioning though. It doesn't look like it's actually. That's absolutely clean.
Yeah, but it's definitely come off, I think.
Is it two-piece though? Yeah, so they've put it back together.
Yeah.
Or reset it. Maybe they've tried to reset it here and it hasn't. So it really looks like it's actually like this is a separate piece and it lines up.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, they did join next because of the way they kick back.
Yeah.
You can't just use a straight piece of timber.
Yeah.
And if you did, you'd have to use a very thick piece of timber, so you'd have a lot of wastage.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So they did tend to kind of slice the headstock into the neck. And that can sometimes be a weak spot.
Right.
And obviously that has given away here.
Well, let's hope they haven't used the same glue to fix that as they did the other one.
Yeah, well, look, the glue they used here probably isn't necessarily a bad glue.
No.
It just wasn't done very well.
That's where they did it. Yeah.
It hasn't held. I probably wouldn't use this glue when we repair it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely set. I wouldn't use the same.
No.
That's a joke. But,
yes.
Yeah. Be coloured.
There would have been a stamp or something there, I think.
Right.
Yeah, probably in the factory they stamped something.
It's a sign, signature.
There's a number, I think, 448 or something.
Yeah. There's pencil there.
Pencil marks as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what we need to do first, we're gonna loosen that truss rod.
Yeah.
Because I reckon there's a good chance that somebody's over tightened it.
Yeah. So that's going to.
So that might help us take some of that tension out.
Oh yeah.
Leave it quite loose. People tend to over tighten their truss rods. They think, oh, this is a screw that needs tightening. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Overcompensation, huh?
Yeah, kind of like just because it's there doesn't mean you have to screw the bugger out of it.
Yeah.
Look, it's got a little bow in it here. It may not be a drama. It's not a huge bow. What are we looking at? I mean, you always have a little bow in the neck.
Yeah.
Because the strings don't vibrate in a straight line, they vibrate in a curve.
Because this came like this, there was actually no way. It had strings on, but there was no way of actually tightening the strings to actually play it.
The neck would just move on.
Yeah, so it hasn't been tested. I mean, the fact that it said it needs to be done professionally would suggest that most people wouldn't know how to glue this back together. So maybe that is the issue.
Yeah, most people would use clag or something like that.
That's right.
So
this seems
just a little kick at the end there. Look, we might, with a bit of heat and steam, we might be able just to settle that down a bit without having to pull the fretboard off and completely redo it.
it's straight already. Yeah, let's just do that.
Is that just a bit of pressure on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I reckon. Once it's glued on and clamped.
So off to the sauna.
Off to the sauna, yeah. Let's call my Finnish friend.
Yeah. Some Norwegian wood.
Norwegian wood, yeah. So to get this glue off, I don't know what kind of glue this is, but I'm guessing it's just white wood glue. And
like a PVC.
PVA.
PVA. There you go.
polyvinyl acetate, or what it's called. And
So just sand it off.
could just sand it off. Sometimes hot steam, hot water, and vinegar.
Vinegar. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salad dressing.
Tell.
A couple of slices of gherkin.
Yeah, okay. Some gherkin in your sauna. Oh dear.
We'll get we get some vinegar, we get some tomatoes, some lettuce, some timber, and we'll go to the sauna.
Some olives as
and
well.
we'll scrape the glue off. Yeah.
That's right.
A bit of vodka, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, sounds good.
There's not much glue on this side.
No, that's odd, isn't it? Because it's there's
Obviously, that good.
it's quite a lot there, but it's
It looks to me that when they glued it, they hasn't been clamped or done. Well, basically, hasn't been done properly. That's the bottom line.
yeah, it's like that. It's like a second or like what's left there doesn't correlate with that.
No, it's been.
There's some deep patches in there.
Yeah.
So it's like that's been glued on. Like it's not even the whole thing's been glued on.
Looks a bit like it's been glued during a gig.
Show there, so a bit of a big patch in there. Yeah, right, mid-gig.
Mid-gig,
like,
yeah.
Whoa!
Not a lot of attention. It's
pump it in.
Pump it in and keep playing.
Okay.
The action's a bit high, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
all
right. Yeah, twang, twang. It's just gypsy jazz. It's fine.
That's right. Okay,
All right.
let's see what we can do. We've gone a little bit too far, you know.
Yeah.
So we will sand as well, of course, but we'll sand very gently. So the glue that I think we'll use when it comes time to put it back together is my latest favorite glue of everything almost, certainly for this kind of stuff. And that is the good old-fashioned hide glue.
Okay.
And there's a couple of reasons for that. Is
it called hide glue because you can't find it?
Partially, yeah. It's always at the back of the hardware store, in the corners. Or it can also be called hoof glue. Hide and hoof.
There's not a lot in there.
Keep the moisture and the heat up. Keep the moisture level up. You had a little spray gun thing.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I just don't have one here. Looking good. You just got to get all that glue off so that the new glue can actually bond to the timber and not to the old glue. Okay, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to put a little bit of paint stripper around where the old glue would have been, and that'll just help remove any left residue of the other glue. If it was hide glue or animal glue to begin with, we wouldn't have to worry so much about it because it sticks really well to itself. But if this is some old PVA or something, we want to make sure that the timber can absorb the moisture from the hide glue or the animal glue and really get the full effect of it. Yeah, so we'll paint that on and we'll have a cup of coffee. And then you can see it goes dark in spots.
Yeah.
So the spots which are not going dark, because obviously some glue still.
Ah, so up here, yeah.
Okay, so here we're just basically cleaning the paint stripper back off.
Let's grab this water.
Again, just put a bit of water in a rag. And you can see now that the timber actually gets darker as you wet it, so it's absorbing a little bit of water into the grain, and that's what you want to see. Prior to this, the glue was kind of sealing the surface, and then so it's not allowing the new glue that we're going to use. It needs to be allowed to absorb a little bit into the grain. So this is working really well here. I think you can see how that goes darker as it gets wet. That's exactly what you want to see. It's actually cleaning up beautifully.
Yeah, looks pretty good. It looks woody.
Woody. Toy Story. There you go. Have to think about it. Okay, so this dovetail joint is now beautifully cleaned up. All the glue is off. We can now say that when we put a bit of water on it, it goes dark, which means it's going to absorb the glue quite well. Aligning the camera there. Oh, it's a little bit crooked.
I knew I should have shaved.
I shaved my legs.
Very good.
So what's happening here now is that when we put the neck in the dovetail, there's a little bit of wiggle room, and just to check that it's not touching on the actual body itself, if we put this in, put the neck in.
Distracted.
Yep, no, that's okay. So that goes in the slot there. Put a piece of paper here, and we can feel that that piece of paper is moving freely underneath there. So what's happening is that the dovetail is touching at the bottom, stopping it from going all the way in and sitting really securely. And that's probably why the previous glue joint didn't really do all that much, because the dovetail wasn't really gripping. And the whole idea of the dovetail is that that's holding most of the strength. The glue is just there to stop it slipping out really. So
makes sense.
So what we need to do then,
if that's the case,
how can it wiggle that way?
How can it, yeah, why is it wiggling there?
Well, let's see. Maybe it's not the bottom of the dovetail that's jamming. It's the top here,
side, yeah,
right up top there.
Yeah.
So if it's, actually you can feel there's a little lump there. If it pinches up here, then you get like a pivot point there.
Yeah.
So it's not being seated all the way in.
Yeah.
So if we look here, you can kind of feel that seems okay there. I reckon if we take a file or something and we just shave a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. Just shave a little bit right at the top here. That seems to be where, as it's going in, it's bridging there, and it's kind of wiggling at that point, rather than locking all the way along the length of the tail. So let's do that.
Yeah, I think that's right.
We just do little by little and see how we go. I'll grab a file. There's a little lump there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit on here. Ah, my finger! Just as well we weren't clamping, eh?
Feels a little better, but and it's still rocking at the bottom, so it's not
locking in down there.
It's just it is just touching in here. I think just need to bring that out.
Yeah, it's along there. So I'm just putting a little bit of paper inside the dovetail here, hoping to see some pressure marks when we actually put it in and wiggle it to see where it's touching. Okay, so give it a good little wiggle. I'm going to take it out. Yeah, so it's here, right in the corner there,
And here,
and right there.
right? Is it just there? Just there.
Just here.
So in here. Yeah.
So you can take a bit out here, or we do it on that one. So if you, I'm going to take a little bit.
So where is that? Yeah. Pretty much the area I've been working on, I think.
Yeah, probably just needs a little more. So what do you reckon? Let's have a look.
You can't.
Yeah, see, it's putting right in there, I think.
It's almost loose on this side, though. You know what we need? We need spark plug spacers.
Feeler gauge, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, so we've
sitting up a little bit on both sides.
yeah, we cleaned off the dovetail joint,
Yeah.
and we've adjusted it to try and make it sit deeper in.
Use lots of paper.
Lots of paper, checking, sanding, filing, and we just got a temporary clamp on there now to see how it feels.
Direct and chisel.
So it feels okay. It feels like it's ready for gluing. So I think we're going to go with that. The kettle's on.
Kettle's on. Have a coffee before we glue.
No, that's to warm up the glue.
Oh, okay. Have a glue before we glue. So is that the vegan glue that we're using? Or?
Yeah, it's the vegan hide glue.
Okay, vegan hide.
It's
Okay.
vegans who have
Made
died.
from vegan
Take
hides.
this, you know.
Let's alienate everybody.
That's right. Is there anybody we haven't insulted yet? Let me think.
No, we've done the Germans, the Swedes,
The Norwegians.
Norwegians,
Yeah,
that's easy.
Australians, I think.
Australians,
Some Australians, yeah.
Self-deprecating. That's fine. Yeah.
Americans, they do themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very proud of me. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh well, let's get ready for some gluing.
All right.
Okay, so we've
Pocket
made
bowl.
sure that we've put liberal amounts of high animal glue or hide glue, and you can see the darkening of the timber, that it's nicely sucking into the wood. So get this together before it gets too gluggy, I suppose.
Yep.
Let me bring this around here. So I'll plump it in.
Interesting. Hang on. All right, so it's already
Congealing.
to a point where it's stopped.
But I'm
doing it.
thinking the
Clamp,
clamp will assist in that.
further up.
So, there.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm James Valentine. I've cleared my diary this weekend.
Yeah, so
The very first jazz
looks pretty good. There's a lot of glue in that joint,
in the house.
but I
Yeah.
think that was necessary.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what it was asking
I
for.
suppose we can take that out.
You can gently scrape some of it
Yeah.
off. It comes off afterwards quite easily.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, if you want to just get in there with then gently scrape it out, it doesn't do any harm. Let me see, I'll take this off the stand. You can see the glue poking out on each side here. It cleans off with a bit of hot water and a rag.
Yeah,
That
right.
stuff comes off like nothing.
Nice.
So just leave that for 24 hours and it should be all sweet. Okay, so we're back in the workshop. We've unclamped it. There's now probably a month later.
Something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. We
Still,
just haven't had a
still
chance.
2020.
Yes. So the glue join that we did on the neck here appears to have worked fine. There's a little bit of gap at the bottom here, but I can't determine for sure whether that's opened up
Sure.
or if it was there.
Yeah.
So it appears fine, so we'll say that was fine. What has happened since then is that this crack across the neck here, bring that a bit closer to have a look. You can see there's a crack here, which would be where the headstock was originally joined to the neck, I'm thinking, because the angle is exactly the same as the headstock.
Looks that way.
Has opened up again.
Yeah.
And we'd say that that is an old repair.
Yeah. Or just, well, look, it could be the original. It could have been that it's not repaired. So when I bought this, it was damaged. This was broken. So it's possible, because they didn't really give much detail, that was already broken anyway.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that hasn't been repaired since. And I don't, well, that may have been, obviously, because there was a lot of old glue on it. But it sort of feels like that was...
It looks pretty clean.
It's just broken, and they've just gone, this is too hard.
Too hard,
Yeah.
So that leaves us with a couple of options then. One is we take the hard yards and we take the fretboard off and we re-glue here, maybe put some splints in. Or we take the shortcut, try and glue it as it is, and maybe it'll hold for another 10 years or so, or maybe forever.
Yeah.
If it doesn't hold, we can still take the fretboard off.
I'm wondering if we can maybe hold this open and just get some sort of like a razor blade in there or something like that, just to see if there is any.
Well,
Is it worth doing that?
What I'm hoping is that we might be able to pry it open with a little chock or something like that.
Yep.
And maybe get in there. I would love to get in there with a bit of sandpaper.
Sure.
And clean that crack a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we can't inspect it.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of glue was used. We can guess it was a hide glue, which would be fantastic if it was.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
It does look very clean just from that, basic.
Yeah, so it doesn't
look.
look like it has been repaired,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
There's no spillage of glue. So I reckon that is the factory join. So what year is it?
64.
64. It doesn't mean it was hide glue. They had PVAs and stuff like that in 64. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to put a bit of tension on the crack to open it up, and with a bit of folded emery paper, we're going to try and clean a little bit inside the gap there. So we've done a little bit already. Let's see if we can get that in there, just to get out whatever's in there. Now that seems to go through quite cleanly.
Yeah, seems pretty good.
Yeah. And what we're hitting in the middle there, I reckon, is the truss rod.
Right. It doesn't seem to be the gunk that was in the
No, the other joint.
the other
No.
part. Yeah. It seems pretty clean.
So, okay, so that looks pretty good. Okay. So this is the.
Ah, yes. Did you get this from Aldi? This PVA glue?
No, tomato sauce.
Okay. all
Same
right.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't put this on your sausage.
It's white sauce.
That's
I'll try not to put
Be-
it on a sausage. Yeah.
bechamel. Right. Take the special plug out.
Aha. Very good.
I think it's.
So I think you were saying before, so we're going to
Yes.
water it down. the
I'm
PVA
thinking
glue.
of making a little bit of a watered down mix
Yep.
to put in there, just to let it suck into the timber.
Yep.
So maybe 5 minutes or so, just kind of keep it moist so that
Yep.
the old dry timber gets a chance to have a good drink.
Yep.
And with that drink, there's a little bit of PVA,
Yep.
about maybe 50-50 or something.
Yep.
And then once that's done, then we go full strength PVA and try and get as much glue in as we possibly can.
Yep.
Then clamp it and
Okay.
wait 25 minutes. So we have wetted the surface a little bit in there with a rag with some watered down PVA. But what do you reckon, about 50-50 or?
Probably about that.
Yeah, about 50-50. Just to give the timber a bit of a drink. So what we're going to do next then is we're going to use full strength.
Full strength.
Full strength.
Yeah, how are we going to put that in?
Brace yourself! Same way.
Okay.
I reckon same way.
Yep.
So, but we'll just put the glue on a piece of paper or something like
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
and we'll make it all nice and wet.
Yep.
So there's your glue. Take your rag and wet it on both
Oh, I
sides.
see, yes. Makes perfect sense.
Yep. I'll hold that open. Has that closed up while we've been talking?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh! Yep, it has.
Did you break my broken guitar?
No! So that's already starting to stick a little bit in there. That's it there. Beautiful. Beautiful.
This is still probably a little bit watered down, but it's
It's not going to do any harm, I think.
dry. headstock.
Okay. Maybe we should see a little bit of glue oozing out, which we are. A little glue.
Yeah.
Look, if the gods are smiling, that may just do it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it should just be there. Just leaving it out, no?
I'm thinking it's on the 2 frets though, so the pressure's kind of in that area.
Yeah, yeah.
This is kind of there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm fairly comfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now all we do is wait. Don't think we need any extra weight on there. I think it's it's stable.
Good old plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, if that is successful, fairly simple repair.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it's not successful, then
Yeah,
well, then we've got to take the fretboard off.
we'll be back.
Take the fretboard off, and we need to look at putting some splints in, cutting two grooves and gluing some timber in. I don't think that's going to be necessary. Don't think so. All right, let's see how it goes.
Sure.
Okay, so the glue is now well and truly set. You can see here, this the glue is definitely through after the crack.
Yeah.
There's no no air gaps or anything.
No.
You can see the glue join there, and that looks pretty satisfactory, I think.
Many techniques that I've learned, which has been great. Clearly, room for improvement. So,
Together. Strings are on. The action is pretty good. We got, I don't know, you wouldn't want to go much lower. So just have to put the truss rod cover back on. We got currently these are old strings. They're some Tomastic Enfield flats. And they sound pretty good as they are. But string choice, that depends on the player, and that can be looked at, of course.
yeah.
So that came out pretty well. The marks on the neck there, that glue joint, you can't feel that when you play. So for that to be fixed, it's purely aesthetics. Purely aesthetics. Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
See if
Nice.
James will play a little bit for us in a
Bit of
second.
polish on the body. Looks good.
Yeah,
as
a
well.
bit of wax. That can be, give it a few coats of the wax polish, and that's going to come
Still
off.
looks nice and old as it is.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything else to it.
No.
It's a beauty. Cool. Yeah, the sound is really nice. I do think it'd be worth trying it with gypsy strings, just because they're my favourites at the moment.
Yeah, it has certainly a dampened feel.
Yes, a little bit mellow.
Yeah.
That is the flats, and through an amplifier that would just really sing sweetly. But so that's a bit of a trade-off, because when you're using the gypsies, you get a slight imbalance between the wound and the non-wound strings.
Yeah.
Because they're not magnetic, or not as magnetic, because the core is still magnetic. Cool.
Having a couple of nails. There you go.